Father, for this opportunity that you've given us to gather in this place. And Heavenly Father, listen to your word and discuss it, Heavenly Father, and sing some songs to you. And we just pray, Heavenly Father, that you'll bless us and what we do here tonight will be pleasing and acceptable in your sight. Heavenly Father, we thank you so much for the many ways that you've blessed us, and pray, Heavenly Father, that you'll always keep us mindful that you, the responsibility you've given us to be good stewards of what you've given us, and just pray, Heavenly Father, that we'll use it to glorify you. Tonight, Heavenly Father, we ask you to be with our brother Don and sister Becky, and be with Nancy's mother and Amanda's brother Larry, Heavenly Father, and just put your healing hand on them, Heavenly Father. We pray for them that it's your will you restore their health to them, Heavenly Father. Just ask that you give them comfort and peace. And Heavenly Father, we pray, Heavenly Father, thanking you for giving us your word that we can know you, and sending your Son, and Heavenly Father, that we can have an example that we might follow. And we pray, Heavenly Father, that you'll strengthen us as we walk through our day, to keep our focus on your Son, Jesus, and to walk humbly in love. And Heavenly Father, to cast your light in the life that we live. Pray, Heavenly Father, that you'll strengthen us, that we might be able to resist the temptations of the evil. Again, go with us throughout this time, Heavenly Father. Watch over us and keep us strong in the faith, Heavenly Father. We pray this prayer in Jesus' name.
Our invitation song tonight will be number 945 in the music book. Our song before the devotion will be number 126. 126. The Lord my shepherd is, I shall be well supplied. Since he is mine and I am his, what can I want beside? What can I want beside? He leads me to the place where heavenly pastures grow, where living waters gently pass, and full salvation flows, and full salvation flows. If e'er I go astray, he does my soul reclaim, and guides me in his own right way, for his most holy name, for his most holy name.
Some years back, we got some new carpeting, and I talked with the guy who's laying the carpeting for us, and I said, what can we do to keep the padding and the carpeting from breaking down like carpeting often does? He said, how can you keep it from breaking down? I said, yeah. He said, don't walk on it. So you can have really nice looking carpet if nobody ever walks on it. At any rate, you and I sometimes, we want something, really can't have. We're looking at things in one way, and it's not really the right way to look at things. And have you ever noticed that some people tend to notice everybody's flaws? Are you somebody that notices everyone's flaws? In Matthew 7, Jesus asked the question, why do you look at the speck in your brother's eye, but don't notice the log that is in your own eye? I've never read that passage and had an audience break out in laughter. Richard Rogers was preaching in India. He read that passage. The interpreter interpreted it to the people, and they died laughing. There were people wiping tears out of their eyes. The interpreter himself was laughing pretty hard, and Richard Rogers had to stop for a moment. And he went over to him. He thinks, this guy's doing his own show. So he said, what did you just say to them? And he said, I just said what you said. It's a word picture. And the Mideast and the Eastern sense of humor sees that as being something that's hilarious. And there are some things that you and I can describe, and it is really funny. It was funny to them, but what Jesus is saying here, if you don't want to find fault with somebody else, don't look for it. He uses a Greek word here that means not to examine real close. You know, like I'm not going to walk up here and say, how many freckles you got? Or anything like that. It means you're going to look at somebody for the purpose of finding something wrong. And it ends up, if you're looking for something wrong, you're going to find something wrong, right? That didn't sound right, but anyway, you're going to find it. But if you're not looking for something wrong, you might overlook it. And he says, you might be looking at something in somebody else that's this big, and everybody else sees something that's this big in your life that can't be missed. As Christians, he's wanting us to look first inside, to look at ourselves. But he's also really encouraging us to not be looking at others to find out what they're doing wrong or saying wrong. Not for the purpose of finding fault. If you want to see no faults in somebody else's life, don't look for them. Kind of like staying off the carpet. The truth is, the closer that you examine anything, the more faults you're going to find. Isn't that true? You ever see somebody's artwork and, wow, that's pretty. But if you get a magnifying glass out, you're going to find a mistake here and there, aren't you? Any kind of work that's done, we're going to find something wrong with it. And as Christians, we have to realize that not only are other people sometimes looking at us, but always God is looking at us. And if you want to tell others about their faults or someone else's faults, just consider what might be the discussion if it's turned around on you or me. Jesus said at one point in his ministry, the Son of Man did not come to judge. The word for judge is a word from which we get critique, criticism, critic. I didn't come to do that, he said. I came to save. When he comes again, it will be for the purpose of examining in close detail our lives and judging us. But right now, that's not what Jesus is wanting, and that's not what we should be doing with one another and others in our family and neighborhood. We should be looking to self first so that we might be able to help them after we've cleaned up our own lives. If there's anyone here tonight that needs to make things right with God and so enable yourself to do a better job at helping others, we want to invite you to come as we stand and sing.
Kneel at the cross, Christ will meet you there.
He
intercedes for you. Lift up your voice, plead with him your care, and begin life anew. Kneel at the cross, kneel at the cross, leave every care, every care, every care. Kneel at the cross, kneel at the cross.
Father in heaven, let's hallow your name. Thank you again for the things that you blessed us with. Thank you for allowing us to sit back here and worship you, study your word, encourage each other. Hopefully, our portion this evening was pleasing to you. Help us to have our hearts tuned with you. Help us want to want to you, God. We ask that you do those that we need tonight with your prayers. For John Trammell, myself and son, and Simpson, also with Nancy's mother. Be with each one of them, dear God. What the best course of action, best healing, best help that you can give. Trust in you, God. Thank you so much for all the prayers that have been answered. Thank you so much for loving us and watching over us, God. Your children, and you. The whole world out there is lost in God, and don't know you. Just help us to shine the light, help us to say the right things, and we out in the world. Just please bless us with that. Help us to walk in Jesus' footsteps. Help us to try to do the same things that Jesus did. Wouldn't want us to do. Please bless us, dear God.